Hello everyone and welcome to another Division 2 video. Today we are going back to League. I've actually found some more good games from the group phase, so we're going to look at some of them today with Onord versus Farid, both of course phenomenal player. Farid here, Onord here, named Lord of the PTRS, known for actually loving his PTRS for the start. So I'm surprised that we're not gonna, by the looks of it, see them, but we're gonna get to that in a second. So yeah, this is quite a good game. I know this because I've already casted it once, but the audio was bad. I have finally decided to redo it. I kind of forgot about it, but now I'm gonna get back to it, which is good. So I don't know everything by heart, and it's a little bit more entertaining for me again to look at it. So yeah, without any further delay, I think we're just gonna go into the decks. We have a VDD here versus Harteneck. And we're going to start with VDD. This is a very specialized division. It is a fun one to play, and it can be quite strong on the right map, and Orsha North definitely is one of those maps. But it has some significant shortcomings as well that we need to keep in mind. So in the recon tab, we do have some snipers, nothing wrong there. T70s are nice as well. He double vets them. To get the maximum potential out of them. Into the tab, we do get the Descent Niki, which is a fantastic unit of this division. So first of all, everything, or at least most things here, for radio trade. I'm not sure if the Sturmoviki and Sturmoviki rocks have, but the Descent Niki DT and the regular Descent Niki have. So it's an 8-man PPSH unit, and I mean, for 15 points, it's really nothing to complain. It will perform quite well for that price and can still shred a lot of strong units. If you have seen, I mean, that was also bad play by me, but if you have seen my game with 15 Scots against Yapaza, then you see what these things can do. And I mean, having them at 15 point is super annoying because you can spam them out. Then you have the Descent Niki DT. This is basically the only real long range unit that you have. You have the Sturmoviki with a DT machine gun as well, but that's of course not comparable in terms of strength. Yeah, so this is something that we have here as well, coming with the 50 cal half track, and then of course the mighty Sturmoviki rocks. This is of course an absolute powerhouse at CQC. And yeah, it's basically just the same thing again in B phase. Then tank type, we do have the Valentine. This of course is a beast, a true beast, super cheap. It is slow, that's the only disadvantage, but it is so strong. It has such a high pen, decently good armor, and it is incredibly cheap. And it has a high rate of fire too. So this thing is a master of getting good traits, and some T34 of different versions. I think the 9042 variant is the one with 90mm, and the 9043 one is the one with 75. Not 100% sure though. And some T34 85s for some heavier stuff when you need it. Support that, we do have some Flamers, Maxim, OP25, nothing special there, ammo. It's tab the Power Sneaky, I mean, it's kind of the same, it kind of has the same role as the Saperi PPSH. The loadout might be a little bit different, I don't know from the top of my head. I should have checked it, but I didn't. But if it's in any way important to know, you will see a card plopping out right now. Then we have the 45 mils is 3 assist 2, pretty standard as well. And then of course the SU76, which is also a master of crit rates, high rate of fire, decent pen, cheap, and faster than the Valentine. A tab. I mean, now with the 37 mil buff, it is quite nice. You can bring them a double that and still get 2 and 4 respectively. You also have the 85 mil. I suspect that they are not just for AA here, but also for AT, because of course against Harteneck you have to expect quite a few tigers, probably. Artillery type, we have the 120 mil, which is actually quite strong here because it has a radio, and at that point it performs very decent. Katyusha though, not that good. And then yeah, we have some recon IL2s. Yak 9 the IL4 with, I don't remember what the bomb loadout is, but you get the IL2 tank buster, of course, which is phenomenal too. And on the other side, you do have Harteneck, a division that has been around for quite a while, might even be a base game division, not 100% sure. I was not around back then. But yeah, I mean, it is still a powerhouse on the right maps, and this is also one where it can definitely perform decently well, matchup dependent at least. We do have the Spätrup, nothing phenomenal there. The VK, nice little auto cannon. Recon tank, nothing special either. Raikozaken, just single DP machine gun unit. Infantry tab, we do have the Ersatztruppen, which are just still really bad. I mean, they're 10 points now, but without a machine gun, still rather useless. We have the Reitjäger, which might actually be decent now with the MP40 buff. He brings them without any veterans, which is an interesting choice. So I guess he plans on just spamming them together same as with the SS really. It looks like Farid is preparing for a lot of spam actually. Leader Ozarek, which is okay. Jägerpenny, now fairly priced actually, and then of course the mighty Right Jäger MP44. We see a ton in A here if you look at it. It's not that much in B and C phase afterwards, but you also don't need that much if you with the income, of course. Right Jäger MP44, quite nice MP44 unit with Molotovs. Not great once you run out of Molotovs, at least at the Cuisine. Yellow Forest, they still shred. Panzergrens, and then you get the, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, one of the really chunky Hungarian units. This is an absolutely fantastic unit, of course. Super chunky, has quite a bit of suppression and damage output, so there's really not much to complain there. And then the Grenadier DP, which you can just spam out if you want to. Tank tap T-34s, which is of course nice that you have some cheap Soviet armor to fight the cheap Soviet armor. Tigers, but he only brings one card in A phase and then some Stücks in B and C phase. Support heavy brings a 50mm mortar. Love to see that. I don't think we've seen one with VDD. They do have them, but Onord decided not to take it. It is micro intensive, and depending on how you play, even if both of these players are 100% skilled enough to use it efficiently, of course you can decide actively not to take it and focus on all your time on other things instead. As that's MG, hard to beat, 20-point MG. I think it's 34 or even 42. I think it's a 34. Stu 42 and some ammo. At E-Tab, he brings the Kazakhstan Panzerbüchse as an AT rifle. I'm surprised he brings that one and not any Panzerschreck. I mean, it's not super armor heavy DVDV, but you do have some armor, and it might come in handy because a lot of that infantry doesn't have anything, but might be wrong. Maybe it's the right call. Then the captured CS3, which is great because it comes in with radio, so you can use the indirect fire much more efficiently. Marder, we don't need to talk about Marders, of course. And then the Hetzer, which is also going to be, can be quite hard to pen for some of the units in VDV. Then the AA tab, you do have the 20 mils coming in with the 20 mil vehicle transport. Then the SKF sets into 7 in B phase. Artillery tab off map right from the start. It's a cheap one. I don't actually know if it's good. I guess we're gonna have to see. And then 81 more, nothing wrong with that. Air tab Recon BF109. It's quite a good one. Tank Passer ME410, which might be neat, and then the HE111. I assume the one with the, I haven't actually checked, I assume the one with the 1000 kilogram bomb. Might be wrong though. So yeah, I think without any further delay, let's now get to the map. And here we are back on Orsha North. So we are gonna start as always with the deployment. And down south we do have a relatively weak deployment by Onord. He only brings the Santiki and the Santiki DT, but he brings a T70 and a Valentine, so it's actually not that weak. It's just relatively cheap. But these two units together are going to be quite annoying here. I mean, the Valentine alone will be quite annoying and pretty much a brick wall, but there's no armor there anyway. On Farid's side, very defensive. He brings some AT rifles, 50 mil, and then some Panzergrens, and that's it. Now in the center, he goes a bit stronger, but very defensively overall on the hill here. This is a little bit more offensive, but not super offensive. Getting into defensive positions here also pretty standard. Onord's response, defensive deployment in the town, pretty standard there as well. And then the massive, I mean, this is not surprising at all, although some of it is surprising. He plans to send his fast sneakies everywhere, so this is the Onord classic. You kind of have to expect this when you play against him. Usually with PTRDs, but I guess it just does it with fast sneakies here. Should still work quite fine as well. Yep, sending them all over the backlands, doing aggressive push here, which we sometimes see on the red side. I kind of forgot to talk about the sides, but red side, of course, we have seen this map a couple of times now. Of course, the better side, because you can easily grab this at the start and then and you can just build up a lot of pressure from there. Blue side cannot so easily do that. You can get into that one, but red can defend that. Now, during the game, like, if things somewhat equals out eventually, it's relatively balanced, I would say, but there's definitely a big advantage here for red side. And even later on, red side can profit from that if played correctly. So yeah, it's pretty, this is something that we sometimes see red do. Blue cannot really do that the same way. And then of course the push into here, which is what I just talked about, right? Also getting into these positions, pretty classical. Now, Farid's response here, is a defensive deployment here in the town. He has at least decently fast transports too, and looks like he just spams Ersatztruppen. I mean, to hold ground, I can see the concept here. So he needs them to just hold ground, and even if they don't have a machine gun, they might stop an Desantniki, or whatever they call it, Desantniki, charging at them, right? So for that, they might do the trick, actually. So that might be the plan here. And up north, it looks like Farid decides to actually push. So he chooses a defensive deployment from here. I've not actually used that very often, and it might be a pretty good. I mean, you can snipe it from. No, you can't. You need to go all the way down here. And by then you're probably already in town. So I've never actually used that. It's probably a way better way of getting into town than hoping they're not going to get sniped as they drive into here, which I still do very often. So that's definitely something interesting to learn from me. And I hope some of you learn something too with that. Otherwise, he goes quite aggressively with his armor. Even some other units here deploying. I have to assume that's the AT rifle. No. They're both going into here. Interesting choice. There's got to be some other recon, not recon, infantry unit. I don't know. Interesting. But yeah, on Onord's side, a defensive deployment here, and then I guess some support weapons here, and a push into this part of the town. Pretty classical that if you push through here, you also try to support it from there. So with that, I think we are gonna. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Get this started, and yeah. So just for anyone who just happens to skip ahead, this is what the deployment looks like. Farid going aggressively up north, a little bit in the center, otherwise very passively. This is what Onord's deployment looked like. Fast sneaky everywhere, and then of course the big push into this part of the town. You kind of have to do that. You don't have to. You can also decide not to do that. That's actually the nice thing. But it is free real estate basically, so you kind of want to take it. But the cool thing is blue will. Sometimes blue gambles and decides to just give that push massively somewhere else. And then if red doesn't push, blue just gets to keep it. But red has the option not to push it. If blue doesn't want to get onto the back foot, blue doesn't have that freedom to choose. So that's an important thing there. 14-10 now. I mean, VDV definitely has speed. It doesn't have, the 100 kilometers an hour transport or anything like that. So it's not that speedy, but it is still speedy enough. As a super, probably not going to be able to hold that. 2 SS7G here doing nice work, but problem is they will get pinged very, very quickly. That's the downside of these, of course. Stu 42 will be a problem for that, but if these get in already, it's going to be super annoying because then you have to dig them out, and it's going to be quite a bit of work. 70 slowly pushing forward, not much happening here. 15-9 right from the start. I mean, that's the aggressive power that VDV can get. Masterfully used here, and the map advantage. Let's not fool ourselves, right? These 2 flags here, you get basically for free. He took this one with a nice deployment. Yeah, this is very ballsy. I personally would never have had the courage to do that, but it is beautiful. Quite nicely played. The question is now, can he also consolidate this? Right, you kind of have to somehow secure this because this is often a momentary grab. This one was a momentary grab too. He grabbed something else. This one again. Yeah, still 59. But yeah, you kind of need to maybe get up here, and then you can kind of dig into these forest patches here. But you need to be able to get into those positions after you do such a massive push, because everything in the open here is of course very vulnerable, so you need to somehow secure that off. Down south we don't see much. Up north we do see the push slowly progressing. Doesn't look like the unit that tried to push forward here died in transport. Husarek took some damage and suppression, probably from the Maxim. We have a nice push here with the Desantniki and the Ognomachiki. Desantniki, of course, in here will get taken out by the right dagger, of course, or not, because the right dagger just push through and try to get into the position. Very aggressive play there. Love to see it though. And I mean, the Martyrs will definitely be able to do some work here. Desantniki do have rated trade, so they can actually put some pressure on that flag if nothing contested. But this is where we talked about, right? The SS open here, and maybe that too close here. I think the Desantniki could just push forward and walk into the, if it wasn't for the VK. But like if you put them like, I don't know, somewhere here, they will be able to stop these Desantniki from just pushing forward, even though all they have is rifle. Look at that Desantniki pushing through here, might be able to kill off that SS7G and the Spectre. That's going to be absolutely devastating. And we're back to 13-11 already with these two flags being grabbed by Farid. He's lost that one momentarily, but that can be fixed. Oh, he has to be careful. That doesn't think he could potentially kill that with the AT grenade. That is a threat. So let's double check. Yeah, these things do have raiders. Don't know why the bubble would collapse. It shouldn't if it's raider, right? Maybe I just don't know how rated trade works correctly. But is it at least how I seen it working? It reestablishes, okay. I still don't know yet how exactly when it rebuilds its bubble and when it doesn't. We do have here a push, so I guess Onord has realized that Farid's probably weak down south. This is how you do it, right? Realize your opponent pushes heavily up north, so it's got to be weak in the south if he also has decent defensive force in the center. And it's not even hard to predict that there's going to be a force here, right? Onord has pressured this. He has seen that a lot of things died, so there was a reaction. But even if there wasn't already, it's not super hard to guess that Farid will put defensives down here. So you know that things are going to go that way, which means they're not going to go down south, where so far nothing has happened. So it's just slowly pushing forward. He has some recon play that confirms this. Really nice play there. And now we have a Sturmoviki, and none of these units can do anything against it. The Kazakhstan Panzerbürste here, which is a PTRD, actually, is the only thing that could potentially deal with the half-track here. And that's going to die to this on EKDT, so that's very unfortunate. But Farid has stabilized 12-12 with just grabbing this whole flank here. 3 flags grabbed here. He has been, and this is the problem if you have the Valentines, right? They are fantastic, and it looks like it killed one of the Martyrs going down itself. They're fantastic in a cost to performance ratio, but they are slow. So if you need to react fast to a situation like this, that's going to be tough. And now we do have tons of SS troopers moving in. I mean, they're just going to be spammed everywhere. They're just going to be like bullet sponges. And that can be quite annoying. Sturmoviki here is a good choice because, of course, it can throw the satchel at CQC range. It can absolutely shred these. And it still has the option to use the DT. But necessarily, it will lose against the Panzergren, though. I mean, 3 MG42s. Look at that rate of fire difference. That's hard to contest. 50 mil getting involved, but gets spotted by the T-70 at the Valentine. That should go down very quickly. Sturmoviki, it doesn't even matter if it can throw the TNT or not. It will, of course, be able to beat that Panzergren. That's one flag for Onord and another one, 14-10 already. Onord definitely putting a lot of pressure here on Farid, who is on Vanguard. So that's pretty impressive. Then again, you know, if you have a good aggressive opener, you can do a lot. But what you then need to do is kind of hold this. And that can be more difficult. As that's just pushing forward, Lesantiki is in a spot where he can't spot them. And this flag just easily grabbed by Farid. P2 forced off, and now we have actual armor coming in. This is M42 here in position. That could definitely do some damage at that range. And of course, the Valentine can do. There's some Tiki in here, so that's going to be a disaster. But we still have about 3 minutes into A phase, and we all know, of course, that the true power of Vanguard usually shines through. Same as for Maverick at the start of the next phase. And I mean, Farid has completely grabbed this northern area, and this is something where you will eventually have to push back in. Onord will have to do that, but Valentine dies, kills the T-34, which is great, but now the T-70, the problem is the Marder can one-shot that. There we go, T-70 goes down. But yeah, so this is something that you will eventually have to contest, but it's also not easy to contest, actually. Like, this is, once you're completely out of it, this is not a position that is easy to retake, and that could prove fatal here. So Farid just focusing on the center where he has to M42 and of course a lot of support weapons already ready, and he's using the assault weapon quite nicely. So it's just pushing forward, depleting forcing Farid's units to rebuild themselves and kind of depleting their ammo, I guess. I mean, there's definitely been games recently where this was the case. If you have seen Farid's come between under this game between him and Luna, you heard that he was running low, his units were running low on ammo because of Luna spam. I have recently played Tetao against Bori, who was having the same issue. because of my spam. That was in a random division tournament, by the way. So I enjoyed it though. I do have to admit that, but just for my defense. But yeah, so that was so that can definitely be an issue here. And truthfully, I mean, as I said, these things can actually be quite annoying because VTV doesn't have that much range. Oh, against the Satsrup, even the Sturmoviki will be great at range, but that's kind of sad point. And all of a sudden, it's 15-9 for Farid, as he completely takes north, completely takes center, retakes his flag, retakes, takes this one already secured, and he's still holding 2 flags right here. Now he's lost the southern flank, but I think if you get at the center and the northern flank, you can kind of get, you can kind of get over that. I mean, it's 3 flags lost. That's definitely a lot, but he also gained 5 flags in return. So there's not really much you can complain about there. We do have 2 AT rifles now just pushing in. That's going to be super obnoxious. Oh, T-34 goes down. I don't even need to what? It has to be the Marder then. SIS-2 will be able to kill off, but that thing has done the job, the work. Can't complain here. As a Strupen up close, I mean, if they get up close, that can definitely kill that. The max is the same in CK0H. OB25 is turning for the second. Yes, it is. This one's still live here though, so that could potentially like be snuck around here or anything like that. I don't actually remember what happens to that, but the potential is there. This flag also grabbed right now. Even pushing for this one. So this is Farid's signature move. He is a very aggressive player, and he will just push. Like there's nothing other than pushing that he knows, and that's not in a bad way, but that's how he plays, and we can see this right here. Grab the north, okay, push in the center. Still try to maybe push a little bit up north. Got something in the center, push more into the center, then push down south. I would not be surprised if he starts building up a push into here as well. IL2 claims a kill on the VK right here. So far, it definitely needs to follow up with his AA, because otherwise, just gonna, after everything that he's going to bring, will probably get air spammed. So he has to be very, very careful there. Now we have the Light Jäger MP44 pushing for here. The Desantniki and Desantniki DT will probably not be able to stop that. They should be able to win that fight. Valentine coming in, more Desantniki, but the problem, more Desantniki DT, so the range is coming in up north. Desantniki close to actually grabbing this flag. I mean, he could try to go for it. It would actually work if he sneaks all the way around it, because the airshots can't spot that. But of course, neither of these players know exactly where the other is, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult. The front line can definitely tell you to some degree, but there are limitations. Right Jäger MP44 won the fight, 2 flags flipped, 17-7. Do we see an 18-6 maybe? It might be that he actually gets this, but it's not going to last long if it happens. There we go, 18-6. But I mean, having this even for like 2 minutes or something like that, or even just a minute, can make a difference. I mean, it takes down so fast, so it's going to be stopped very, very soon as these drive back in. And Farid has nothing that could get here fast to actually grab this for a moment. But I mean, imagine this lasting for a bit longer. That would already be very devastating. I mean, look how far it takes down. But that is massive, and it's not like the tick stops when you stop the 18-6, right? It's going to be slower, but it's still going to be there. And there we go, back to 17-7. This flag might fall as well. The SSUP, of course, not going to be able to hold this for long, but you might be able to just hide them in here, and then the SR-MG might be able to stop those Desantniki DT from pushing any further. 18-6 again. What did he grab now? He didn't grab one of these back. Oh, he grabbed that one. Wow. Light Jäger pushing here against Desantniki. So that fight, yeah, Light Jäger losing. I mean, the Desantniki are double star, and the Light Jäger are not. Let's look at the. It's 9 MP40s though. And it's chunkier. So. Light Jäger pushing for. I mean, 2-on-1, I would hope that they win. That's not really telling as much. T34 here versus T34 potentially. This one is also T34 1942 variant. But it will suffer from hill pressure, I would assume. No, it doesn't. but he's falling back. The VK trying to get there as well. But this is potentially dangerous position. But the Light Jäger, of course... Yeah, look at that. I know we are within range for the PPSH. IL-2 pushing forwards. There's only 220 mils, and 20 mils are deadly. I've talked about this multiple times, but against an IL-2, the IL-2 is also... Yes, IL-2 is also just unkillable. Let's face it. Tiger pushed forward slowly. I don't know, something happened to the Valentine. Not much. Off map coming in. No, it's not going to get sniped. It can't get sniped. But you also need to have something to follow it up. 16-8 again, but that's still very much in Farid's favor, so Onord will struggle with that. P2, providing the recon for the IL-2. The IL-2 can definitely kill the Stu-42 into Tiger here. T-34 coming in. What's it going after? The Tiger first. Definitely the bigger threat here. Managed to get some shot off, no kills. And 20 mils are already on them again. Did it get damaged? Maybe a bit. Not 100% sure. This is also still holding this. This is actually what's holding the 15-9. Good there on fire. Back to 16-8 as he was. I was forced off that flag, but he's already re-grabbing. I mean, things for Farid are looking pretty good. He prepares now pushing the south. This is exactly what you want to do, right? You're winning everywhere else. You can kind of go this, and by the looks of it, he's also been trading well. So, like, if you compare it to games against Gonzo that we've seen live on stream, where he was being aggressive while getting out traded, of course, that's a bad thing, but here is exactly what you would have to do, right? I mean, if you want to win this fast, you just be aggressive, you trade well, and then as soon as your opponent reacts to one area, you are aggressive somewhere else, and you can kind of switch back and forth how you like, and you will always be one step ahead of your opponent. This is kind of what you can do, and this is how good aggression looks like, so definitely love to see that here. It's not without any drawbacks, right? He's getting slowly pushed back as Onord's income advantage comes in. But if you look at the map, even if we have tons of SS troop, there's just not that much here on red side and a lot here on blue side. So far, definitely getting some very, very good trades here. Now, what Onord probably will have to do is decide where he has the best chance of actually re-grabbing some ground. Looks like he's pushing at the flanks here, where with the CQC he has probably some good chances, so that's definitely a good choice here. Oh, the Light Jäger might be able to kill SS2 eventually. He's also trying to grab this flag. I mean, it should not be super hard to get. The problem is you need to somehow get the SS Truppen out there, but that's definitely a good point to start as well. Valentine here versus Tiger, probably not a good fight. I mean, you can pen it eventually. Oh, flanking shot here by the T-34-85. So the Tiger will probably go down no matter what. But not if the T-34 and the Valentines keep bouncing. How is it actually aligned? Oh, in a bad way, where he gets side shot from the T-30-45, which also has the bigger pen, so down it goes. And that's massive. That was holding the center. The T-42 can definitely not do the same thing. We do have an ME-410 coming in that might be able to kill both of these tanks. It's a good tank buster. A little bit fast, but other than that, yeah, if that kills the Valentine, does probably some damage. Yeah, it does some damage to the T-34. Yak 9 on the back of it. If it can shoot that down, that's a massive kill. Looks like... Oh, it's going to get it. Might overshoot, though. Oh, no. ME-410 goes down. That's a massive kill. Although, armor is something that Farid can probably deal with. So, while it was a good call here to kind of stop this, it is probably... I think the IL-2 will be more important for Onord than this thing to Farid, but it is a massive loss at this point. It's a loss that he cannot that easily replace. We're still in B phase, so, you know, he still has some of his good income, but of course it's not going to last forever. But Onord is slowly taking ground back, right? He's brought it back to 13-11, he's rolled back down south, so this flag will probably go back to Farid very, very soon. But Onord making good progress in the center, and he's trying to push up north as well, but he's struggling there quite a bit. He probably needs some more fire support in those areas, maybe some artillery support too. Right, Jäger still in a nice position here, but they could move forward and kill this too. but looks like Farid has not realized yet. Now is a pusher in the center trying to go for this flag as well. There's only the 50 mil holding it, but as soon as one of these pushes forward just a bit, they will be able to grab that as well, and that will bring it back to 12-12. Although this flag being lost will bring it back to 14-10 for Farid. But we have to remember here the timer, the clock is ticking. So Farid doing a great job at just delaying Onord here and making sure he cannot easily get back. And that's, as I said, that's massive. That's huge. Not a pushing forward. I mean, that's a good thing about having tons of these models, right? They are a very, very cost-efficient answer to some of the armor, and they should be able to pen the T-34s of all sorts. So that's definitely a good answer there. Isn't Tiki pushing forward? Sorry for that. I'm recording this after work day, so a little bit tired. Down south, it looks like Onord reinforced in time, so Farid is struggling about. Do you see the HE111? No, it's not the big bomb one. I'm just a bit disappointed. But, oh no, I think I confused it. I think it's not actually this division that gets the big bomb ones. Maybe I'm mistaken, maybe you do. But I think it was confusing it with the one that... It might not even be an HE111. I think it is. I think it was confusing it with the one that 78 Storm gets. And that one is a beast. I'm not sure if there's a big bomb one. Let's look at that. 2 100 kilogram. Oh, 10 100 kilo. Yeah. It's definitely going to hurt a bit. Although with the spread, the man actually... Oh, it's going after this. Is there at least a Desantiki moving in? No. In my opinion, that's what you want to... That's what you would want to do here, right? Just move in, follow up with the infantry. But I guess not. Also looks like some of the AA here has kind of been decimated. There's 120 mil, and that can't really do much. With the way Onord is leaning in his Air Force, I might be smart here for Farid to actually bring an SKF Z71 while he still has some good income. But it looks like the income goes away with him actually buying a headset. Would also be a good tool. The Valentine can definitely pen that, but it will struggle a bit more than against Stug or something like that. The T-34 will struggle a bit more than the Valentine, probably. Oh, right, I can kill some sort of AT gun. But 12-12, so Onord stabilized. And he still has plenty of time to actually turn things around now. But if you look at the map, it looks like, even if you account for the Assad Super being super cheap, I mean, this doesn't actually also very cheap. So we kind of just ignore that argument, I guess, and just say that there is definitely more blue than red. And some of the red tools are quite expensive, like the Tiger E. 85 mil now coming. That's a good choice for you because some AA might still be needed, and that means that there is also some AT for the center here for Onord, and he brings it back to 13-11 for I think the first time. No, maybe not. There was a no. Right at the start, Onord was dominating. I was wondering that difference here had to come from something. L2 coming in. This thing is not that great, I don't think. No. 50 kilogram bombs is not the way to go, but it will pin. The Desantiki can move in, and this thing will never really die. So it might be a surrender here. And even if not, once the Desantiki are in, they will win against this. I mean, this is an absolute beast of a unit. Don't get me wrong, but that's not exactly a lot of CQC power. Gonna look at it. This, on the other hand, is a lot of power. But back to 12-12, and Farid just pushing forward here, just grabbing his flag, bringing it back to 13-11. Strumoviki coming in, might be able to fix that. At range, it's going to lose against that. If it gets up close, it can do some work. Should definitely win against that. Not sure if it wins against 3 of them, because here we can also start positioning them in a way where they will beat the Strumoviki from range at some angle. T-34 here poking at some Huzuruk, some more here just hiding. And we do have some more 20 mils coming in. Reinforced Mata here, finding, I don't know what. There's Antiki, I have to imagine. It's not the greatest HE support tool, but it can definitely do a little bit of work. 13-11, we were at a 14-10 for a just brief moment. I kind of missed that, but Onord tried to get back into that flag. actually managed to get it, so that's definitely nice to see. Up north is also making some progress, regrabbing this flag. There's not a lot here. The T-34 will run into the heads. Up close, you can definitely panic, but you might struggle a little bit, so I need to bring a little bit of something with coffee. Just some Coke to make sure that I don't feel too tired. Jagdpanzer pushing forward. He got the sight on the T-34. I mean, T-34 as I could potentially pen the Jagdpanzer 38T. The heads are up close, but it would have a hard time. Of course, if you get side shot before you get to do that, then things are even harder, right? This push was forced off by the Shumoviki, but oh, it looks like the Desantiki also did some work on that. Those Pu Husar Hungarians, but they are pushing forward relentlessly. And I mean, if this somehow finds a side angle on Shumoviki, it will be able to do that. IL-2 is coming in to pin those again. It won't kill. I mean, the bomb blowout is horrible. And the missiles once again will take a little bit, but it flies directly into them. That can't be a good thing. One is out of ammo, those that's only 2s, and that's gonna be a bit underwhelming. The Panzerbuchse here has not moved yet. It has been forgotten there at the start, so I'm wondering when Farid starts using it. I hope he will eventually, although I don't really know how he wants to use that at that point. I mean, he can still try to sneak through somewhere like through here or something like that, but we're going to limit limited use for that. 59 again, as this Hussar pushes across here, grabs his flag, and by that also this. And I mean, once again, like these short moments of getting high takes can actually really make a difference, but it's going to be fixed very, very quickly. So probably too soon to actually be able to do that, but it's something that can be relevant. IL-4 coming to bomb that should definitely be able to flip that flag back, but we have reinforcements here, and it's all the right Jaeger MP44s. These will win against SMT up close for sure. The Molotov will get thrown, and they should get that win. Oh, but bombing run misses as Farid is on the move here. He will catch these Thessaloniki out of cover. Thessaloniki managed to get up close though. I'm not so sure if they might be able to do it. I mean, it is PPSH. The problem is if they're going to have to reload, it's going to take ages for them to do that. Now they're reloading. These guys are not yet reloading. That's probably going to be the end of the Desantiki. No? Farid falls back? Desantiki might be able to get the surrender now. That's an odd choice. Wow, okay. More Desantiki DT pushing in, but down to 2 man, that's not really all that good. IL-4 on the back, on its way back, getting shot at by the 20 mils. But once again, these 20 mils are just not enough in terms of damage. Yak 9, don't know what that tried to do. I also don't know what the ME410 tried to do. Maybe killed something. Now it's going for the T-34-85. IL-2 coming in for the Hetzer, but it looks like line of sight was been lost. Will be regained though. Oh, another Yak 9T gonna get on the back of the ME410. That's gonna be the second one. It's gonna be all of Farid's AT plane. Didn't even manage to get the kill. Maybe, oh, Yak 9T is turning away from the AA. I don't know, he might have been able to get the kill actually. I'm not 100% sure. But I think the possibility definitely existed. So personally, I would probably have risked it. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably better this way. You know, rather have it live to fight another day than just dying without actually killing what you wanted it to kill, because then you have achieved basically nothing at the end of the day. 14-10 for Farid once again, as, yes, come a little encirclement here. Raider infantry definitely showing its worth, but there's not much you can do. And now we have the Sturmoviki rocks coming. The problem is, out of CQC range, I can't really do that much. The right Jaeger MP44 might be able to stop them on their way in. These ones are going the wrong way though, and these are falling back. So maybe he's lucky. These ones, I don't think they're going to be able to stop it. Rifles will start firing, but not long enough. And the Hussar here also not going to be able to do much. So that might just work out for Onord. He might be able to kill these 2 units off, regrab this flag, bring it back to 12-12. In the center though, he lost his T-34, which means that this flag is actually pressured and does flip 14-10. Up north, he's also making pressure, but with just very, very few units. So his line are still looking very thin. Oh, now we have another encirclement going on. This flag fallen as well, 14-10. If Farid can find just one more flag, might bring it back to 15-9. That would be absolutely impressive. I kind of missed that. We have seen a Katyusha. It has struck something. I don't know what. Now we have one SEK set 7-1 coming in. Interesting that we see this late. 13-11 actually again. So Onord trying his best to stabilize. But both players are now down in income, and things are technically a little bit better for Farid, but it will take quite a while for this to actually pile up. But it definitely looks like Onord has not been able to recover with his income advantage as well as he would have needed to. 59 again, we still have these 3 flags here grabbed, and we just got another cheeky grab of this. So it looks like Onord's pushes combined with Farid's movements actually are mostly working in the favor of Farid, as he managed to get these flag grabs that might have been preventable otherwise. I mean, the Sturmoviki pushing forward here just meant that this flag fell to Farid for a little bit. Radio infantry definitely strong though, as we can see right here. But there are serious limitations, and I mean right here is going to be a problem, right? This is the range where you do not want to fight against the Jaeger MP44 unless you have some better firepower for that specific range, which most units of course are not going to have. That is an EQ will probably not have it. These of course do not have that at all. They will get shredded before they even get close. Sturmoviki rocks might be able to get in here. 2v1 they will probably lose. 1v1 they might be able to beat that Jaeger. But the problem with this unit still is, if it has Molotovs, it is very dangerous. As soon as it doesn't have the Molotov, it's not that dangerous anymore. MP44s can still do some damage, but they are not the CQC tool, the ultimate CQC tool. Back to 12-12, so Onord really trying to hold on and do his best, but he would also... They might be able to stabilize and keep things stabilized. I would not be so sure with how things are looking here on the map. But even if it does, the problem is he also needs to revert things and actually take Farid down. He would still have 20 minutes to go, but the way it's currently looking, I don't really see that happening. And even if it does, he needs to get probably to 59. A 13-11 or 14-10 won't cut it. ME410 is back going after the IL-2, after the T-3045. We still do not have any A other than the 85 mil, which appears to be out of ammo, so there's no AA. Let's just put it at that. 2 L2s coming. I think Onord has focused a little bit too much on planes that haven't really achieved that much. I mean, they have done a little bit of work, don't get me wrong. They have definitely done some pinging, but these things just do not kill. Farid does have the SCF set 7-1 here, so he could potentially, if one of the L2s gets too close, potentially start shooting things down, but he is very carefully held back in that position over there. 85 mil coming in. Once again, do a AA duty and hold off planes. ME410 taking another run at the T-34, gets the kill. Yak 9 coming in, Farid microing and flying directly into it to avoid having this on its back. But Onord also on the micro, and the Yak 9 has a good turning radius. It's probably going to get on the back of that before the 20 mils can stop it. And I can shoot that down. Although it's flying very close to the SCF Z71, I think the SCF Z71 will save today here. It will. Onord recognizes danger and turns away. I think... Oh, no, it doesn't get out. One of the last 20 mil shots gets a kill. Plus, there's also flying over here, where there were also 20 mils that could do a little bit of help. So very unfortunate there for Onord. He reacted in time, or not in time, of course, obviously, as you can see, but he reacted fast, as fast as you could expect, I would say, and made the right call. But unfortunately for him, it just didn't work out. We do have some reinforcements coming in, but I mean, the situation is looking very desperately as Farid grabs on the 15-9 as he grabs the town once again. Sturmoviki rocks moving in, but the problem that Onord, even if situation was looking differently, the problem that Onord's going to run into now is that he's basically out of range infantry, I have to imagine. So the problem with divisions like VDV, which are very CQC oriented and really lacking a little bit of long range units or just line infantry, basically, what you can do quite well is turtle in and prevent your opponent from pushing forward. if you can force them to go through like forests and towns. But as soon as you need to try to retake those areas, you don't have any chance of doing so. Right. So if VDV would have actually managed to get around here and then just turtle in, that would have been a really different story than what we were actually seeing. So I think if the incomes were reversed and Onord was actually grabbing areas where he could just dig in and kind of outgrind Farid, and so you can see that might have worked, but unfortunately for Onord, this is not how it went. Now we see things just pushing forward to try and stop it, but 15-9 for Farid, and I don't think that Onord will be able to stop that in time. I mean, once again, if you look at the map, there's just so much blue and so little red. Even at that point, even after 35 minutes in a Vanguard Massive Maverick grind. So, and there we go. Time is running out for Onord. Farid takes the win of game one. If you look at the trades, it doesn't actually look as bad as we suspected. But I have the feeling that Onord just had a lot in at the air that we didn't really see that way. The other issue that we might have been is that, a lot... Never mind. Disregard that. So, but yeah, I'm surprised that the difference is not that big. And at the start, we can see that Farid actually got some trades. Onord's spamming forward might have gotten him some flags, but he lost quite a few units in the process of doing so. That trend actually continued quite a while. Actually, quite a bit. So it's one of the classic examples where one side just traded, whereas the other grabbed ground, and then eventually just rolled back and turned things around. Things started to look a little bit better in a B phase for Onord, but of course, it was still struggling, and rates, it looks like, became a bit more even relatively soon. We also have to remember that in this case, if you see a lot of red on blue kills, with the SS1, there's also plenty of cheap blue tools, so it's not the way that it usually is when you see Soviets getting kills, and that just means that they generate a lot of value. In this case, not everything that Farid loses is really a lot of value lost. Definitely the armor was a little bit of a problem in the center, but Onord actually kept that in check quite nicely, so that was pretty impressive. And then, I mean, towards the end, it was very, very Farid-sided once again. Looking at the kills here on Onord's side, M42 doing some good work. Valentine's, the Valentine's. What would you expect? T-34's doing actually quite, I mean, it ran into one proper tank and then it was basically free range from there. This T-34, oh yeah, that side shot tank was nasty. And actually, yeah, I mean, this thing was quite a pain for Farid in the center, which is why he called the M410 to deal with it. So I was definitely doing the work there, but losing that was devastating, I think. And on the other side, you have the Stu-42. Actually, look at this thing here. I mean, that probably just wiped everything at the start. We weren't looking that closely. This is too. I would imagine that some of these kills were actually coming from its direct fire instead of indirect fire instead of direct fire, but I'm not 100% sure. As a what? Oh, that was the one in the forest patch where there were maxims at the M42, and I mean, if it's in the forest, this team will actually win against those. Oh, that was so bad. Marder getting some good kills as well, and the VK actually shredding some infantry too, but Jaeger performing quite well. So yeah, pretty nice there. Great game. Hope you enjoyed it too, and yeah, have a great day. See you next time.